What's up, everybody? It's been a bit. So I know that the Aces and Eights storyline has been going on, and there's a lot of speculation about who the leaders could be, or about who the leader could be. We know, for the most part, who the talent is. You got Luke Gallows, you got Wes Briscoe, you got a few others. The guy who played Domino. But everybody's speculating about who the leader could be. And in my opinion, there are 5 logical choices about who it could be. One seems obvious, the others not so much. I'll start with the most obvious and work my way down from there. So the most obvious one is Jeff Jarrett. Now, would that make sense to have him as the leader? Yes. He's been excommunicated from TNA. He's been over in India and Mexico. You can make the case that he was, let go and he's tired of being disrespected. He started this company. He should be here as it starts to boom again. So he brought in this group of people to take over, as he does. He did that with the Kings of Wrestling, and he was a part of Immortal and all that. So it would make logical sense that he'd be the most obvious pick. I personally don't think he'll be the guy. The next most logical pick is Joey Ryan, guy who's been going after the 87%, or not going after, but he's been blasting the message of the 87%, appearing on Impact, attacking people, particularly Al Snow interrupting gut check segments. Interesting thing I think that points him out as the leader is that they attacked Sam Shaw during the gut check. I think that gives a hint that it could be Joey Ryan. But again, that's a little bit too obvious, because then people would be like, oh, Joey Ryan's behind it. It's like I said, those are the 2 most obvious picks. The others, there's no guarantee it would work. But I think that they're actually, in my mind, they're more logical than Jeff Jarrett or Joey Ryan. The next most obvious one, in my opinion, is Scott Steiner. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wait a minute. TNA tried to sue him for all the crap he was talking about Bischoff and Hogan. Well, for all we know, that could be a work. That could be a legitimate work. He could have been doing that as a part of this grand TNA storyline to have it seem like he hated them, how he's trying to expose them, trying to decrease viewership, but then he ends up bringing in this group of guys who he thinks are tough enough to take down anybody in TNA. And so you could start this war between the guys who have been abandoned and the core TNA roster. I think that makes a lot of sense, to me at least. Then there's another one that very few people are thinking of, and that's Brooke Hogan. I think Brooke Hogan's another logical choice because trying to articulate this properly, you could make it so that she could resent her dad for all the crap he's done in his life, and how he wanted her to come into the business. So she decided to form a group of guys who she thought could take out anybody, including her father, and lead the way for an invasion of sorts from these ex-WWE guys, or this group of independent guys. And unless they get violent with her, I think that the Ace cards targeting herself, because you noticed when the first package of Aces and Eights cards were given to Hogan, it was given by one of the members of the group of Aces and Eights. This was given to Brooke Hogan by just some random guy. And that makes me think, why didn't they directly give it to her? But then again, as I think about that now, they'd be on high alert for the guys. So I guess it makes sense to have a random guy do it. But that's another one I think could be. I think all the others are more logical than Jeff Jarrett, Joey Ryan, Brooke Hogan, and Scott Steiner. I think they're all more logical choices than Jeff Jarrett. Because it just seems to me like Jarrett would be just too obvious a choice. And it'd just be rehashing something. And I know they want I think they're trying to constantly put new faces in here. So I don't think it would be Jarrett. Then there's the one that I'm going to throw in there as a swerve pick, as the longest shot pick, I think. And that would be Austin Aries. I think Austin Aries could be behind the Aces and Eights. Why Austin Aries? If you notice on Twitter, they said you shouldn't watch out for. They basically said something to the extent of, "Watch out for who we attack, and that's where our leader will be." They said something to that extent. And I'm thinking of who the people have been attacked. Angle? Well, what would Angle have to gain? Well, nothing. What would AJ Styles have to gain with the Clay Orange storyline? Nothing. God, who else? Sam Shaw? He's a nobody, so he wouldn't have anything involved with that. Hogan or Sting? I just don't see them as being... I don't know why they would. I don't know what possible reason they would. They already went through the Immortal thing with it, so I doubt they'd be the choices. So among the people that have been attacked, that leaves Bobby Roode and Austin Aries. Now, Bobby Roode, I can't imagine, because he's the selfish guy. He didn't need any help, really. He did it on his own. He could cheat on his own and keep his title. But with Austin Aries, he's the only guy I'm thinking could be it, because I don't really know. I just have this gut feeling that it could be Austin Aries. I had a reason earlier, but I can't remember. But for the life of me, I swear there's just some reason I think of because if you listen to their clues, somebody who we attacked or targeted is the person, and that means it's either Brooke Hogan, or in my opinion, or Austin Aries, in my opinion. One of those two makes sense, I think, as being the people to do it, because they actually have something to gain. What does Aries have something to gain? He can make a point. He can make a point that you bring in guys from outside TNA and not the people who are already there. And it's, again, a sort of invasion angle of indie guys. You could put Joey Ryan in the group as well. But these 5 people, I think, are very logical choices for people who could be the leaders of Aces and 8's. Tell me what you guys think. Make a video response telling me who you think could be the leader of the group. And I just want to know what you guys think. So that's all for now, and see you around.